We know that the families have always been the leaders on bringing this issue forward and calling for some national attention. And so at the political level, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs is increasingly outspoken on this issue. And so Chief Francine Meeches is from the Swan Lake First Nation and has overseen a period of economic development for her community with numerous business opportunities pursued, including the opening of a casino and maintenance of their urban reserves. So Chief Meeches is also a representative of the First Nation Women's Committee and is here to talk about what's happening with the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to say Gichimegwich to each and every one of you that are here today. And from both genders, that you're all here to support our people. I want to acknowledge the drum. I want to acknowledge the prayers that have been done. And I want to acknowledge the families. I need to correct something with what you said. I'm from Swan Lake First Nation. Yes, I am. Actually, I'm part of Treaty 1, and welcome to Treaty 1. But for all of you Manitoba First Nations, that casino belongs to you, not to Swan Lake. So always keep that in mind. I wanted to say good afternoon. And thank you to Bob for inviting me to be here. You know, usually what happens is I get invited to these events and then right away I put my call into AMC and I get the, you know, we have to be fortunate to have staff that can provide speaking notes for us. Because I could probably stand up here and talk all afternoon. So that kind of guides me. And one of the things that I just wanted to share was, before I get into what we are doing at the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, a year ago, back in October, well, before that fall, I had went to the event over at the Legislative Building, and I was asked to come and speak there, so I did that. And at that time, I never really clearly understood what families felt when it came to the murdered and the missing. But I got a taste of it. I got a taste of it in October. I had a cousin that went missing, and like she was just like a sister to me. And I felt that pain that all the people feel. Their family members go missing. For a week straight, we struggled to try and find her, and it was getting cold. And the ground is already getting frosty, and we felt that, like I didn't want to give up. We didn't want to give up. We knew she had to be in the community somewhere. But you know, I couldn't believe, one thing I could not believe was that people will not understand until they deal with it. Until you feel that pain. And you know, I spoke to the RCMP, and I felt helpless As a leader, I felt helpless. I felt like nobody was listening, like nobody cared. And I kept asking, like, I'd call the officer in. I'd go there first thing in the morning. I'd stay there all day at her house. We'd stay there. People would come and help us look all day long. And you know, we thought we looked everywhere. We kept asking. The emergency response would come in and nobody would, they didn't feel it. I don't know what the problem was. I really don't. And it was like, it's just that we were going unheard. That's just how it went. It ended up that we started looking probably about 15 miles from the location, from her home. And the day that we all decided to meet in that area, then finally they brought in the team, the search and rescue. And not even an hour after they started searching that they found her. And she was only across the road from her home. That's how far she was. We just didn't search that area because we didn't suspect that she would be there in someone else's yard. Even the person that lived there had no clue that she was laying in the front yard in the tall grass. But that's how long it took us to find her, because we had so much trouble trying to get the search and rescue out. And that's because you just feel like nobody cared. That's what it was. You know, it's as if our people are nothing. You know, I'm totally going off of what I came up here to do and talk from this list, these pages that I have in front of me. And I'm going to say something that I feel that plays a huge part in what's happening to our people. And that's the racism that was mentioned a few weeks back. Never would I go into someone's country and disrespect those people that are from there. This was our country. And the way we're treated is not right. There's something wrong, definitely wrong when we're treated that way. You know, I'm so happy that I always remembered who I was as a Anishinaabe. I went to a white school. I dealt with racism. I lived in the city of Winnipeg. I dealt with racism. You know, it was not a day went by that I was on guard, waiting for somebody to say something to me. But you know, I wasn't going to stand for it. I wasn't going to put up with anybody treating me that way when I'm from here. This is our land. Nobody has any right to come here and treat us that way. No one. But I want to say thank you for all of you, because you know what? A lot of people need to be educated in how our people are being treated. We've got such a large city. And how many of those people actually accept our people for who they are? Our lives were destroyed for decades. Decades, I'm telling you. You know, I was really fortunate I never had to go to a residential school. As a little kid, I wondered where these kids were all coming from when they would come back to the reserve. I was raised by my grandmother and my grandparents. And I was so lucky. She would hide us in the cellar because our child and family would come and look to try and take us. Hide us in the cellar. As a little kid, we had to hide so the CFS workers wouldn't pick us up and take us to go live somewhere else. That was when they were scooping up the kids again. We've got so many people from our community that never came back to our community because they were taken to the States. A child, who takes a child from their home? There's got to be something wrong with you. And that's what's happening to our people. You want to talk about missing and murdered? That's what's happening. But the guys have to step up. The men have to step up and protect us. A woman can be so powerful, but she needs the man to be behind. But you know, what I said, people need to hear. At the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, the First Nations Women's Committee, which is comprised of the female leadership. There's myself and Chief Kennedy, Betsy Kennedy, there's Chief Jackie Everett, there's Chief Merrick, Kathy Merrick, Councillor Rhonda Abraham. Lately, we've been struggling with coming together and meeting, and sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. But you know, like, I always try to put my community first before anything else. But the time when I lost my sister, I told myself I would be there. I said I would be there to help. And that's what I want to do as much as I can. I really do. I don't mean to break down up here. I shouldn't be doing that, but you know, when I think about her, it hurts. It's just a hard thing to face. I don't even want to go into the notes that I was given, but I just need to explain that we always try to be involved wherever we can. I was even trying to ask Chief Kennedy if she would come on my behalf today, but I know she's really busy too with her community, and it's kind of like sometimes you try to find balance, and it's hard to. I've been into Winnipeg. I came into Winnipeg Friday. I came into Winnipeg yesterday, and I'm back again today, and it's like I'm going back and forth. It's like 2 hours away from me for me to drive each time I come here. But you know, there has been a lot of work that we've been doing. I know back in 2009, I got in as chief in 2007, and in 2009, I remember I was getting myself involved with it, and it was really nice to have people knowing and seeing people stand behind us and support us in the walks that went on in the city of Winnipeg. Even with the families that were looking for their loved ones, it was like, I know that we've contributed what we could from AMC, and with the cuts that have been made to the funding and that, it's kind of made it kind of impossible for us to really do anything, to come together. But like I said, we support the issue, and we try to help where we can. You know, our population is so high in the city of Winnipeg, and if our people came together for one day, You just see the numbers, unbelievable. But you know what? Always bear in mind that this country was ours. Don't ever forget that. And don't ever let anybody mistreat you or disrespect you. Because it's wrong for what's happened to us over the decades. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these speaking notes here, and I'm going to finish up because I'm not trying to run away or anything, but I have another meeting, and I'm going to be in Winnipeg till 8 o'clock tonight, so I got to run off and try and save myself from getting a parking ticket. But with that, I want to say thank you again to all of you. And I apologize and thank you all.